Hello everyone, my name's Sarah and welcome to my channel. I made a video yesterday and it was my first ever attempt at a YouTube video. So it was a little bit rushed at the beginning, but yes, the reason that I'm making this video today is I've recently embarked on a weight loss journey, I suppose you could call it, brought about by having been in lockdown now for over 100 days. I'm not going to count any more than that. And having comfort eaten and comfort drank, just things to comfort myself over the course of the time. I may have put on a little bit of extra poundage that I don't necessarily want. So a little bit about me. I've always been a curvier girl and slowly but surely really appreciate being a curvy girl. So it's not that I'm against curviness, but I've certainly found that I have put on a little bit extra than I am comfortable with. So when I'm left to my own devices, I find it really hard to track my eating, especially when I'm in a certain scenario where I'm in a lockdown and waking up later, sleep patterns thrown out, and so on and so forth. So I have decided to follow the Jane Plan diet, which is a delivered to your door, and it replaces all of your meals. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner with healthy, homemade type foods and low fat breakfasts and things like that. So yeah, it's ideal for what I want. And what I did yesterday was I reviewed breakfast, lunch, and snack. And today I'm going to be unboxing the dinners. So they provide 28 days of food in the meal box. And it all comes at once and none of it needs to be refrigerated. And this is due to the way that it's cooked, which is even better because it's a huge box. And yeah, there wouldn't be enough room in my fridge or my freezer, or indeed my cupboards. I'm going to keep a lot of it in the box. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, as they say. So the first item I'm pulling out is a beef and mushroom stroganoff. Now, it must be said that I did order quite a few of these because I love beef and mushroom stroganoff for no other reason than that. And I thought it would be a safe bet that I would at least tolerate the flavor of a beef and mushroom stroganoff. Now, because I was really keen to get started, I did actually start the diet last night. The meals arrived sort of late afternoon, so I did have one of the dinners, but I'll come to talking about that in a minute. So the mushroom stroganoff, I will just take the sleeve off so you can see. You get a pouch of rice and a pouch of the actual stroganoff itself. And from looking at it, it looks rather strange. The rice seems to have, maybe it's just the packaging or there's a coating on top, but it seems to have definitely like a glutinous layer where it's kind of squidged together. Now, I'm not sure if that goes all the way through, or if that's just what packaged rice looks like inside the package before you steam it, which is probably what the case is. But the stroganoff itself looks, you can't see any of the meat in there, but it looks like it's got quite a rich and creamy flavor. So yeah, I think that's going to be really nice. And you can microwave this, and I believe you can, some of the dishes you can even put them in the oven to crisp things up. But this one, yeah, you should be absolutely perfect in the microwave. But yes, if preferred, you can oven bake that. So yeah, really looking forward to trying that one. Next in the box, we have got penne bolognese. Now, this is another dish that I really don't think we can go wrong with. It's a pasta dish with a bolognese sauce, and it looks really nice. It looks like the type of meal you would get from maybe Sainsbury's or Asda or even Waitrose. Just when you're ordering a penne bolognese, I think that it is such a standard product. So I was really excited to see this on the menu for starters, because it's the sort of thing that's like a comforting dish. So yeah, really looking forward to having that. Last night, and I'm sure I've got more of them, so I'll pull one out. Last night, I started with beef lasagna. Now, when I'd been researching Jane Plan, a lot of people mentioned this dish, and it might just be because, you know, as a dieter, I suppose it's not necessarily that you think of eating pasta dishes, and lasagna is probably known as one of the more, how should we put this, heavier or more indulgent dishes. And it's also, most people like lasagna. It's pretty difficult to find a dish that is universally liked, but I would say lasagna is one of those things that you can't go wrong with as a dish. So I can confirm that even though it looks a bit murky in the packaging, it was in fact delicious. Now, Jane and the nutritional team, they do advise that you would serve your main meals with perhaps salad or some kind of leafy green veg. What I did last night was I added a little packet of Brussels sprouts, which you can get from most supermarkets. I just stuck it in the microwave with a couple of teaspoons of water, and they were done in 4 or 5 minutes. And they made a particularly tasty bed for my lasagna. But if you didn't want to have anything as bulky as a sprout, I think a lot of people were saying they add things like cherry tomatoes. And I think the more you supplement these very calorie light type vegetables with the meals, the more you're going to be satisfied. But one thing I can confirm, last night's dinner did not leave me feeling hungry afterwards. So I was actually delighted with that. That was my biggest fear, that I was going to invest all this time and effort into something that left me feeling hungry, left me feeling like I wanted more, which is how I got into this situation. But I can confirm it was very satisfying and didn't actually feel like diet food. I'll leave the link down below for my video talking about the breakfasts and the lunches and the snacks. Now, the breakfasts in particular had left me feeling a bit apprehensive because they are small portions. But this morning I had the breakfast and a lot of my worries were put to bed, shall we say, because I absolutely felt very satisfied with the breakfast and indeed the lunch. Okay, what have we got next? Ooh, now this is a rich beef ragu. Now, it's very much a dish that I think will need, I'm going to say need to be served with something else. So whilst it is a beef and vegetable kind of meal, if you were hoping to have an entire meal in the package you received, this would be one of the cases where I'd say that wasn't the case, because it's almost like a soup quality. So I think that would be a good one to serve with, say, like one of the supermarket veg packs or just any veg, and then you could pour that over the top of it. So treat it like almost like a Sunday roast, but with a gravy. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do. This package has got tender stem broccoli and asparagus with it. So I think if anything, this diet is actually going to encourage me to really add, you know, my 5 a day into my diet. But it won't be unsustainable. Like so many of the diets that I go on, I swing to just eating a salad and then it's unsustainable. This I feel is not going to leave me that deprived way, but it's also something that I'm going to treat as almost like a lifestyle if it works out. And I think it's going to teach me a lot of valuable lessons about the portions that I need versus the portions that I want. Okay, let's dig in, see what else we've got. Now, I talked a bit about this yesterday, how I decided to go for a real mix of foods because I basically like a lot of food and I didn't want to miss out on anything that, you know, was potentially going to be good just because I didn't necessarily like the sound of it versus another meal. But, you know, once you've tried all the dishes, I'm sure you can select like, you know, 4 or 5, even 3, 4 that you like, and just eat those. But here we have a massaman pork curry. Now this sounds utterly delicious. But again, it is the same as with the rich beef ragu. I think you're going to need quite a substantial amount of green veg or some other product with that to call it like an evening meal. Otherwise, you would probably be left, you know, even visually speaking, not feeling like you'd had a full meal. What I'm considering doing is having one of those vegetable delivery services, like drop off like a week's worth of vegetables at the house, just so that I've got a constantly varied, you know, group of vegetables to tuck into if I haven't had time to go to the supermarket. I've stocked up on everything from cauliflower, courgette, peppers, to Brussels sprouts, which you've seen. But I even found some quite exotic looking things, which just shows you, I mean, it really means that you'll take the time to look at a vegetable as a side dish rather than as a full meal. Here is a pack which has pak choy and shiitake mushrooms with it. Now I think that sounds utterly delicious, and if we steam that up or saute it or even stir fry it, in Jane in one of her own videos states that you can stir fry things and absolutely add them in. Just be mindful of not adding too much oil because that might reverse what we're trying to achieve. But yeah, I'm gonna get really creative. And it might actually make me feel like I'm a cook, but obviously everything is already made for me. So next in line, so I've ordered a vegetable lasagna, just to see what it's like really. I'm not a vegetarian, as you can probably tell by all the other meals that came before this. But I'm definitely not adverse to having veggie options as my main meal choice. And I'm sure that's going to be absolutely delicious. It says the key vegetable ingredient is aubergine. So yeah, really excited to try that. Now it's in a little box rather than open like some of them, so you can't. So what I've been saying is I'm going to do a few follow-up videos, obviously, to say how it's been going, how I've been finding the meals, maybe even do some mukbangs. If you're unfamiliar with mukbang, it is a Korean term for making a video where you eat a meal whilst people watch you and talk about different things. So why not talk about the food that I'm having? I don't think mukbang and weight loss necessarily go hand in hand, but in this instance, I'm sure it will be very informative, but also quite a social event. So looking forward to doing some of those. Pull out a few here. Ooh. Now, I did buy quite a few beef stroganoffs and a few lasagnas, as I mentioned earlier, just so that I would have something that I definitely was comfortable eating quite frequently. But yes, where are some of my more adventurous choices? Jane sag aloo. Now sag is spinach, so and aloo is potato, I think. So yeah, again, as curries go or Indian food goes, it's one of these incredibly accessible dishes. So I think everyone would enjoy that. Even if you're not a curry fan, it will be like spiced potato. So yeah, looking forward to having that. And that is one that will definitely go with a lot of additional salad and vegetables and things very easily. So it's almost like a Indian ratatouille. Oh, another one of my traditional meals to try. Here we have the cottage pie. Now, not very groundbreaking as a meal choice, but cottage pie obviously involves potato on the top, with a mince sort of ragu beneath. So yeah, I mean that one, I think you could definitely, if you didn't have time to make a salad or you didn't want to do much faffing, just serve that as is and that will be a perfectly lovely meal. In fact, it looks not much different to the high calorie cottage pie or normal meal cottage pies that you see in most supermarkets, if not nicer, and all for 248 calories. Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. Okay. Next in line, chicken casserole. Now, it comes in its own little microwavable dish, and whilst, yeah, it doesn't look like one of the ones that you won't have to add additional veg to, but it's definitely got some chunkier looking veg floating around in that. It looks like it's got mushrooms, big chunks of carrots, maybe, I'll check the packaging, but maybe, oh, it's swede. I thought it might be potato. I got a bit excited there, but it's actually swede. So yeah, that looks really lovely. So I think a couple of handfuls of salad would be absolutely fine with that. Exciting times. I have to say, after the breakfast, lunch and snacks, I thought that when I was pulling all of these out, they were going to be tiny portions and that they'd used like a fisheye lens or a wide angle lens to make the dishes look bigger than what they were. But now that the evening meal portion has come around, it really, really is looking fantastic and definitely not much more different to what you would buy in a supermarket just for a normal meal. Here we have another of the cottage pie options, but with lentil instead of beef, and buttery mash. So that just sounds utterly delicious. So if you are vegetarian or vegan, there are options on this diet to suit you too. There is so much choice. In fact, most dishes have a vegetarian version of the meat version. So don't feel that it's something that you can't access if you are not eating meat or dairy products. Here we have another example of that, which I think sounds delicious. It is comforting vegetable cassoulet. Ooh, and even as I mentioned the packaging yesterday, but they really have taken a lot of time to make an individual packaging for each and every dish that reflects not only the sort of tones of the food, but also the cultural references, if there are some. Like I'll hold up the sagaloo again. Look at the vibrant spices depicted. So yeah, very tasty. Ooh, now this is a surprise. My vegetable cassoulet, which I thought was going to be like just the sauce, actually comes with a beautiful side of colourful rice. See, this is what I mean. When you're flailing around and ordering the things, you don't know what it's going to be. And some things are absolutely surprising me. I almost feel like they've made more of an effort with providing, more elements to the vegetarian options. So if you are not fussy about your meat in your dish, then I would highly recommend going for the vegetarian options. I think they've given essentially more food. Let's see what else we've got in here. Okay, another penne bolognese and another beef stroganoff. Ooh. Okay. Now I think there's a couple more things. Tuna pasta bake. Again, this is one of these cupboard staple comfort. Oh. Now that is not what I expected to see. I can see one piece of pasta and then almost like a ragu with bits of sweet corn in there. I expected a tomato sauce, yes, but this looks far. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably not the most attractive one to hold up to the camera. But yeah. So that's one of these ones that I thought I would, was a no-brainer that I would enjoy and like. But from the look of it, it doesn't look like what I thought it would be. So yeah. I mean, I'm not going to eat it, but it might not be the one that I, as my go-to favorite. And now here we have, and this one is called Jane's Favorite Fish in a Creamy Parsley Sauce. How beautiful is that packaging? So it's exactly what you would imagine, and it has the rice with it. So a creamy sauce that is undoubtedly going to be, very satisfying, comforting again, if you like a white sauce. I was a little bit worried about that one. I thought, now this is again maybe the cynic in me, but I thought maybe Jane was putting her name to things that weren't as nice. trying to draw people towards ones that were maybe less successful. But no, that actually genuinely does look really nice. A nice thing to have on a Sunday maybe. So yeah, I am utterly delighted thus far. And if it's all as nice as the lasagna, I am going to be in seventh heaven. Okay. There's just a couple more to go, and then that will be me. Okay, the last gasp, as they say. So here we have slow-cooked beef in ale with root vegetable mash. Now, again, this is the sort of thing that I think I'm going to reorder quite a few of. I'm going to make notes as the weeks go on about taste, what you get with it, ease of eating. Because whilst I'm sure these ones that are, a single substance, like for instance the Massaman pork curry, whilst I'm sure that's going to be delicious, I'm the kind of person who sometimes I just want my meal to be able to be served like from the package without faffing around with other elements. Say for instance I haven't been able to do a shop or I'm running low on veg. I'm going to want things that you can just eat in a oneer. And this slow cooked beef and ale with root vegetable mash. Looks like it's going to be just the ticket. Again, a nice thing to have on a Sunday or on a colder day. But yeah, that looks absolutely amazing. And of course you can add other veg to that and make it into like a roast beef dinner, a Sunday roast type of idea. But yeah, fantastic. And here, I believe the Queen, her favorite dish, not that I like the Queen, controversially, but it is something I heard that she does enjoy. Chicken tikka masala. Can't really go wrong with a chicken tikka masala, although I have had a lot of bad chicken tikka masalas in saying that. Now this is another example of something that I can eat, you know, as a full meal. It's got the sauce and the rice all there, and it looks like a very vibrant, tasty chicken tikka masala. So yeah, for some reason I didn't get too many of the curry options, and I know that there were some Thai options and things like that, but I for whatever reason, and these are all things that I love to eat, but for whatever reason I was hesitant until I tasted the quality of the food, because I'm quite fussy about the quality of the curries that I eat or the Thai food that I eat in being authentic. And I think when you're adding in just one dish to a range of mainly maybe Western foods, you can be burned with getting ones that are not very spicy or not very well flavored. And that was my reason, rather than having an aversion to the taste of that. But from looking at these, it looks like they are going to be really, really tasty. And certainly for diet food, this is just looking extraordinary. I am absolutely excited about each and every one of these meals. Where I was having my doubts yesterday, these doubts have, you know, pretty much been alleviated. And I feel very confident that this is going to be a plan I can stick to. I actually signed up for 4 months. You can sign up for a month, you can sign up for 3 months, 4 months. They actually do discounts to encourage you from time to time to sign up for longer. But I was feeling very, very stressed about that, because as someone who's a foodie, you know, it's quite, it can make you quite apprehensive. But no, I have absolutely no doubt that I'm going to enjoy this. Now I can just see that my cat, who paid a visit in yesterday's video, has jumped up on the table wondering what all the kerfuffle is about. So if the camera suddenly knocks over, what a dramatic way to end a video. But yeah, that's my unboxing and review of the dishes. And I will be coming back to give regular updates on my progress. Have I lost any weight? Have I made any progress? But also how the dishes taste, what's been good, what's not been so good. And yeah, just keeping you informed of all the things that I think you'd want to know if you were tempted to take on a diet like this, or indeed this diet. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please like the video, please subscribe if you want to find out more about how I get on, and I will see you in the next one.